on this week's project, I wanted to try a more complicated glue up. This is just the beginning of cutting all and sizing all the pieces. I was trying not to waste any of the wood that I'd purchased, and I still have a bunch of little pieces left, but those will be for future projects. I started the glue up process by shuffling the cards and making sure everything looked right before I got glue dripping all over the place. I wanted to make sure all the colors looked right, and I didn't have something that looked weird. After the glue had set up, I unclamped everything and found the center. I wanted to make sure that my cross piece was going to fit properly because it got cut a little bit short for what it was supposed to be. So I scribed a circle on, or the 11-inch circle that I wanted on the blank, and then made sure it was going to fit where I was going to cut, marked it, and cut it. And then I went back and glued it all up. Once the glue's set, it was time to round off the corners and get started on this thing. I like to round the corners off on my sliding compound miter saw, turn it to 45 degrees, and it actually works pretty good. These little corner pieces I have a plan for, I just haven't got to it yet. As you can see, I've already mounted the blank on a wormwood screw and have the chuck attached to it. I'd actually forgotten to record that and did it before I rounded the blank off. Then I got it mounted up on the lathe and started to spin it around. Using a Wood River bowl gouge to find my edges, and then once I found my edges, then I began to shape the bowl. As you can see, I'm setting the mortise for the bottom of the bowl for my chuck. I believe this is 130 millimeter jaws on my Nova G3. I prefer the recess over the tenon on most of these anyway, just because I don't have to fuss with it at the end. It can just kind of stay as part of the design. as you see, I had a hard time with the cross section piece. The bowl gouges just I couldn't get them to cut very well across that piece, so I went back to the carbide, and it actually cut it fairly well. With this bowl, I sanded everything up to 600 grit. I wanted to get the best possible finish on this as I could because it was the first one I'd done, and I really wanted it to come out nice. This wound up being the second coat of the Milan sanding sealer. I forgot to push record on the first one, but between coats I took it back with wire wool.